you're exuding a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately, it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
It's the same matter with marriage, with everything. They want to addict the kids, this time to e-cigarette, which has a chemical that's addictive. You know what it leads to. Sadly, it leads to tobacco addiction, disease, and death.
I'm going to get you addicted to nicotine. I have a customer for that. We have hundreds of cases nationwide where people have gotten sick or died using these devices.
Look what they're trying to do. All the delicious flavors of e-cigarettes are poison. They're not people giving up smoking. They're not people that ever smoked before. Most people that vape never smoked before. Now, it's like if your kid who's doing this winds up with an IQ 10 or 15 points lower than he or she would have had for the rest of her life. Addiction is being fueled by kid-friendly flavors and kid-friendly cool marketing. It is outrageous that these companies specifically market their bad products to kids. Today, right now, it would appear wildfire of e-cig use among teenagers, high schoolers, middle schoolers has not let up.
There's a moral panic over it.
There is a moral panic.
Yeah, and they can't find anything wrong with it, so they're held to find something.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't smoke and carried on smoking because they haven't tried an e-cigarette, because they're worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
The most disheartening thing is still the anti-choice rhetoric, the desire to enforce this quit or die mentality and refuse to allow individuals to reduce their risk unless we're going to give up everything.
I am going to have to go place home.
Hey guys, so this is a Hurricane Hannah exclusive short Son of Liberty radio show tonight. I live on the Gulf of Mexico, and there's a storm headed straight for me. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun, but we're gonna try to get this show done before it starts storming and we lose power and all that stuff. So I hope you guys understand. But you know what? We've had a good little week this week so far. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, and I'll just go ahead and bring Kevin in and. We'll get everything started. So, hey, Kevin.
It ain't nothing but a chicken wing. That's all it is. I'm waiting for that.
Oh, well. So,
and I don't want you floating away either. So, yeah, you should take care of that.
Well, I mean, it's not supposed to hit until later on tonight. But, we're going to go ahead and we'll do the show and we'll have some fun. But, we need to make sure everything's plugged in and charged up before everything if the power goes out, Yep. Could be nothing, could be something. Might as well prepare for the worst. I didn't board up the windows and do all that stuff. It doesn't look like it's going to be that big of a deal, but yeah. So, hey, Yolanda and William and Victor and Jennifer all joined us in the chat, and there's a couple other folks in there that are remaining silent. But we got Megan is in the YouTube chat room. Hello, Megan. So Kevin, what have you been doing this week?
I've been ordering stuff online.
Uh-oh.
For the vapocalypse or whatever everybody's going to call it. So, been an interesting little journey. A young lady said, "Hey, by the way," and then I went, "Oh, okay." And then I talked to my wife, and day by day she gets more excited about more flavors and stuff. So we're gonna go that route. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, this is one of my own creations right here.
Is that the?
That's the one that I sent you the picture of. The video on the stirrer. This was on the stirrer and I took pictures of it. I don't want anybody to see what I have written on the label, but it is a tobacco. It is a tobacco flavor.
I can't keep up with the rife. I'm just gonna shake and bake like somebody else said. Was that Fig?
They're shaking
or you. Yeah,
shaking
one of
me.
you. One of you.
But it
Yeah.
is mighty tasty in the Aries 2, made by Anakin and designed by Demetrius Agrafiotis and Phil Basardo.
Aha.
And there was no promotional there was no paid promotion of this piece. It's just very good, I like it. But
is it bottom coil?
What do you mean bottom coil? It's a rebuildable.
Like well, that scares me. I don't know anything about that
This
yet.
is the Aries 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, other than a hurricane barreling straight at me, here I'll show it.
Oh, and Logan's getting a haircut tomorrow, so I'll keep you updated.
That's where we are right now. That's
And where are you in that mess?
I'm right here where the little flag is.
Oh, Corpus. Okay, I see it. That looks like a dog coming at you. It's got a little eye and a tongue hanging out.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sometime tonight we're gonna start getting some of these outer bands of rain. Outer bands. So yeah, this is what I got to look forward to for the next 24 hours or so. So, we'll muddle on through. So, yes, Victor, I figured it out. Victor says, "I knew you could do it, Patrick." So, yeah, I mean, so this. There was some stuff. I had a guest all lined up last week. He was eager, and I said, I can't have you this week. We'll do it next week. He said, okay, because we had a guest already lined up for last Friday. And then he says, I texted him yesterday. I said, are we still on? And he said, let me ask the wife.
Okay.
So then I texted him today. I said, did you hear from the wife? And he said, yes, but I still can't make it because I got PMTA stuff I got to work through.
Okay, well, that's acceptable.
So yeah, we'll have that guest on in the future. It was a good thing I didn't announce the show until I always like to wait, and I didn't. I always like to have fancy graphics, and I already started on his fancy graphics, so that's why at the beginning of the video you see that there's a blank face there because there's nobody.
I was hoping it was Jerry, but obviously that would have been an amazing surprise, but it didn't happen. Wasn't in the cards. So this week, like I said, it was kind of a slow week anyway. I mean, obviously there's some stuff. Jules getting spanked, supposedly, because they did something that was necessary for the safety of their users. And we told everybody this. PMTA means you can't make any improvements even for safety. Except when. But there's no exception.
There's no exception. So,
and then they did it anyway. What happened?
Nada.
Nothing.
Nada. I mean, obviously, in enforcement discretion, and all that. But I have a tweet. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about the tweet.
Okay.
I gotta find it. I'm scrolling through my Twitter right now.
That's okay. I'm still disappointed that you haven't had Jerry on here yet.
Well, I'm telling you, he won't.
I have more faith in you.
He won't come, man. I can't help it. But so, obviously the nannies and the nanny state and the control people of the state of New York, but obviously the controller in chief, the governor of New York, has decided that
my mother. That's right. She's there, isn't she? Yeah.
Certain things are not food. So here I will play. Let's see if I can get this at the start here.
Places everyone. I want your full attention.
So let's just play this.
To be a bar, you had to have food available. Soups, sandwiches, etc. More than just hors d'oeuvres, chicken wings. You had to have some substantive food. The lowest level of substantive food were sandwiches.
So this is Governor Cuomo. So part of the ability to reopen your business in New York was that you couldn't just be a bar. You had to be a bar and grill, or you had to be a bar that served food. So a lot of bars that weren't previously serving food, or restaurants, decided to add food to their menu. Well, that sort of pissed him off, because he didn't, I guess he's like the nutritionist in chief as well. He wants everybody to follow, to be under his thumb. So he said, you can't offer it. It has to be real food. Yeah. It has to be substantive food. So soups, salads, and sandwiches are substantive food. Enough. That's the minimum.
But so what, Patrick?
That's the minimum. So, I did sort of think about it, because, hot wings, or wings in general, not necessarily the hot variety, they come in flavors.
Imagine what kind of flavors.
They come in sweet flavors. They come in honey barbecue. They come in mango and peach barbecue. They have one called Asian Zing.
To tempt your taste buds. Wow.
So, but we know that adult people don't like flavors, so that must be Big Chicken's attempt to hook a new generation on their deadly wings.
He has an oral fixation, does he not?
No.
We'll get to that.
And then obviously, who are they trying to hook with? When they call them hot, other than teens. Teens like hot. Oh, that's hot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it seems odd that he goes after mango pods in the Jewel or in anything. Now he's going after mango wings.
Mm-hmm.
Mango barbecue wings, man.
Yep.
That is the gateway right there.
Would that have needed PMTA though?
Well, no. He's just banning them. He says you can't have them.
Well, I did see a tweet about 3 or 4 days ago. He must have been on about this for a couple of days, because somebody put I don't know if it was a real or fake menu, but it had and 4 croutons or
apparently some of the more sarcastic bar owners were putting out hors d'oeuvre trays, and they put a crouton plate. And then I think I was it your tweet where you I found it right here already. This was for you. This is your tweet.
Me and Guido.
And
yeah.
So it explains what a sandwich is.
A taxable sandwich is.
Yeah. So a sandwich can be as simple as a buttered bagel. That is substantive food, according to the state of New York.
Isn't that nice? And Jennifer, I think he's got that screenshotted.
Yeah, I mean, literally, this is sad. This is crazy. But so I went in. The more you think about it, I have friends that have kids,
right?
And
you have friends?
Okay. I know it's hard to believe. It really is. But I mean, you and I have seen people that are addicts. I mean, obviously that's not a nice word, but people that tend to like certain things enough that they will act differently.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I found this. So, I tweeted at the governor. I said, in his recent press conference, Governor Cuomo showed his true mettle, that he knows how to lead through control. And Big Chicken will not addict our kids with their tasty mango barbecue and honey dipping sauce.
Bastards.
And then I found actual video of people that really like their chicken products. So
No. Where you want to go? We're going to Chick-fil-A. What? We're going to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A? Yeah. No, we're going to McDonald's. Chick-fil-A.
So, Big Chicken already has their hooks in.
I don't understand why they're abusing these children. It's Big Honey dip sauce people that's probably doing it, really.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I like Chick-fil-A, but it's not like I'm going to throw a tantrum if I can't have it. But they've got their hooks into these kids.
Yeah.
Well, with their sweet, fruity dipping sauce and barbecue sauce.
Hot, sweet, fruity. Jesus, that's a quite a list. So especially when adults don't like it. They don't. Nobody likes it. Flavors it's over 17.
I know this is why he's going after the chicken now. Mm-hmm. Because we know that he doesn't like things that taste good. We know that he doesn't like flavored products. Not even his chicken wings.
Well, I, for one, am supporting him. Kumquat for president.
So, yeah, I mean, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Just saying.
I know. Did you see Kat's tweet? I hate to backtrack, but yeah.
Well, what cat tweet? I don't like cats.
Hold on a minute. Hang on. I can't figure this out all by myself. I thought I sent it to you, so I got to find you first. Yeah, I did. Of course I did. It's in your message, about 5 up.
It's in my message.
Yeah, Kat Timpf put out a tweet.
Oh, okay.
I think she should be president. Speaking of hooking kids.
Okay, so I got it. I got you now. So it says, Kat Timpf says, our government may not be sure how to handle this pandemic, but at least they can agree that I must not be allowed to obtain a mango flavored Jewel Pod.
That's right.
Or honey barbecue wings, or
obviously
mango barbecued wings. Can't have those.
A lot of the restrictions lately, I don't understand. We're just not allowed to think for ourselves, are we?
No, because it's their opinion that you don't need that.
Oh, Big Bruni's in.
And their opinion is the only one that matters.
Well, then we should heed to their opinion, right? Is that what we're supposed to do?
We are supposed to kowtow.
Oh, kowtow. Jeez.
We must kowtow to their greater knowledge.
I'm so glad there's smart people running the country.
We cannot be allowed the freedom of choosing mango chicken wings or...
Correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick. New York is one of the states on fire with COVID still, right? Because I stopped. I'm all done tracking this.
I actually think that they've got a handle on it now. I think their numbers are. I think their number now. I live at. See, now not only do we have our hospitals in town are full of COVID. We have over 400 and plus people hospitalized with COVID. We have 100, and I think I checked last night. 100. We only had 88 ICU beds, mind you, before this started. We have 140 something currently in ICU in the hospital. So that means that they've either converted existing units in the hospital to COVID ICUs, and borrowed equipment. I know that they have FEMA nurses in the hospital now that they brought in from outside because of the situation. Like, it's blowing the fuck up here. So, it is a little scary. It is a little scary. And now we have a hurricane coming, which could be disastrous.
So Cuomo since it's going down, can focus on chicken wings and mango sauce.
Well,
okay, just making sure we got our priorities right.
Now that they don't have the high numbers, obviously they still need to be concerned, with the COVID, of course. He doesn't have anything to do on, they don't need to do daily press conferences, but he's, during he's been doing that. Like, he's been going on every day or every couple days now, because he wants people to know that he's still there.
Well, of course.
And the only thing that he can do now is punish these small mom and pop bars, neighborhood bars, that people go and want to get out of their house for a minute. Obviously, you can social distance in the bar, but the problem is he thinks that if they don't have food, people are going to be up and moving around in the bar.
So to make it clear to the listener, if you go to the bar, correct me if I'm wrong, and you purchase alcohol in a bar in New York City, you must eat.
Yes.
Or you must order something substantial to eat. You can't just have a crouton.
Right, because if you don't have food, you're going to get up and move around.
So
I mean, that's his logic.
If I have a margarita, salt is not food, right? I don't drink margaritas, but salt is, or the when you do this with a lime is not food now. So there you go. I'm just wanting to clarify in case I ever drive to New York City.
They want to control all of your behavior. You can go to the bar, but you have to sit on your ass and eat food and drink. You can't, obviously they want you to sit still. So the only way he thinks that you can sit still, instead of just saying, please stay in your seat and the waitress will come with a mask on and take your order and bring you your drinks, you have to have food, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you in your seat.
You could still burp though, right? That's still allowed.
No, not unless you put a mask on.
Okay. All right.
No burping uncovered.
Just making sure. Jeez.
No burping. You can't burp. That's a high velocity emission. So that could fly across the room, depending on how much gas you got built up in your belly. So burping in the bar is definitely not allowed.
I can't do New York.
And neither is actually getting up and moving around the bar. But obviously, the only way to make sure that doesn't happen is to put a plate in front of you. If you got a plate in front of you, you will not move. Your legs don't work anymore.
Well, see, I like crab. So if they don't serve crab, then I'm fucked. I can't drink everybody.
Well, I can guarantee that if you go to New York City, you can get crabs.
I'm sure I could, one way or the other. All I know is if I can't sit down and enjoy buttered crab and it's not actually a food substance, then I don't know what to do.
Exactly. So you must have real food, and obviously wings or an appetizer plate is not real food.
And this is inside the New York City limit, not the state, right?
Well, he's the governor. I would imagine that's a statewide order.
Okay.
He's the governor.
I want to be a governor so I can tell stuff.
The controller in chief.
What a kumquat.
Because that's what he wants. He wants complete control of your choices and of your activities and of your behavior. That's what he wants.
Sorry, Yolande distracted me.
So she does have an interesting point. So you sent me a link this week, and about, I don't know.
Let me preface this. Dr. Glover actually over tweeted this tweet.
Well,
so everybody knows.
But like I said, you sent it to me.
Yeah, I was all excited.
And then a little later, Yolande sent it to me. And it felt like one of those things that, because Yolande doesn't ever like private message me.
This is like, you don't ever get anything like this ever. And this is it's got to be told. You can't just ignore it.
I mean, of the money that academia spends on research. This topic was one that I never ever would have assumed that they would have spent money on.
No. Well, they just spent our money on.
Right. Well, I mean, this is, and inquiring minds. She just answered our own question. Well, she's working on her research thesis, and she found it in her research.
Right, and I believe her.
I know. Why wouldn't I believe her?
We don't doubt that.
Right. Why wouldn't I?
This is funny.
This is where your tax dollars are being spent. So let's look at this. It says tobacco use and oral sex practice among dental clinic attendees. Now, what I'm wondering is, are they practicing oral sex?
I want to be
at the dental. Well,
I want to be a dental clinician. That's all I'm thinking. I'm just saying.
So, just the way that this is titled, it sounds to me like people are smoking, and having oral fellatios and cunnilinguses and all sorts of stuff while they're at the dental clinic is what the way this sounds. They are attending the dental clinic and smoking and having oral sex.
It could be juice. You can't rule it out.
This is like a porn movie that hasn't been made yet. I mean, really, it's really interesting. That they. I think that we need to find some, porn producers and bring them this treatment. It's
noted that Mr. Wood is the conceptualization investigation guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially the guy who came up with the concept of getting a Hummer and smoking a cigarette while you're at the dental clinic.
Oh my God, I don't understand.
And then this Alu Yusuf did the formal analysis, and he's the one that wrote it and edited it. See? Edited. So I wonder if he went into the video bay and edited this. And then Gucci came up with the methodology. So he must have did a lot of research into smoking and oral sex. So he probably went to Pornhub.
I can see the question at the dental clinic. Now, I'm confused. Is it a dental clinic that people are going to, or is this a clinic that they put on it like a class? Like, how many of you guys have had oral sex and smoke while you're working?
So, and then I glanced down here and I saw this Mark Allen penthouse.
No, Purse House. I like the glance reference.
I'm surprised he's not in this somewhere. I bet you if we scroll down, this was UCF Berkeley or UCSF. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and see what this says. This says tobacco use and oral sex are important factors for oral and oropharyngeal human papillomavirus, HPV. And, we see commercials about HPV on TV. They have all these young kids talking about HPV. And did you get your kids the HPV vaccine? Now we know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to control your kids better, especially when they're getting their teeth cleaned.
This is so sad. 18 to 45-year-olds, too. They didn't do anything older.
Well, nobody wants to see anybody over 45 in one of these movies.
Just saying.
So, okay, this cross-sectional study used a structured questionnaire to collect socio-demographic characteristics, tobacco use, betel nut use. What's a betel nut? Anybody know? Somebody explain to me what a betel nut is.
It's when you cross a Cuomo with a Gretchen Whitmer. Okay, there you go.
And oral sex practice data. So they've been practicing, apparently. How much do you practice? With consenting adults greater than 18 years. Oral sex practices were recorded for patients in 18 to 45-year-old data. Okay, so I want you to be clear on this. So they asked 850 people and 514 of them admitted.
Hi, Bob. How you doing? Let me ask you a question.
So, I'm kind of. Oh, I'm way over in the wrong screen.
Would you
There
like
we
to
go.
be in a study? What's it about?
So,
I'm in.
Yolanda says, so when we say to the kids, don't poke out your tongue or don't stick out your tongue, we need to be more specific. So of the study population, 55.2%, that's 468 of them, were female. 88% self-identified as Black Africans. 45% were unemployed.
Oh, that's important.
Apparently, they got more free time or less free time. I don't know. Furthermore, 19.7% were current smokers, snuff users, and betel nut users. I'm still trying to figure out what that betel nut is. I mean, Mark says it's something made out of beetles. I don't know. Or they're nuts. So only 19.7% of them were tobacco users, smokers.
This whole segment is leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
I'm sure it's not the first time. Out of the 415 who answered the questionnaire on relation to oral sex, 22.8% were reported to practice it. So that's one of those things you learn by doing. I mean, how much practice are you actually doing? So oral sex practice in the age group of 18 to 45 was most common among the self-identified white participants. So, there is a myth that I heard once, and I'm not going to repeat it, but that does verify that myth. And among tobacco users, then I lost myself here. Oral sex practice, blah, 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 was blah, 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 white participants, and among tobacco users than among non-tobacco. So people that smoke were more, willing to apparently put something in their mouth. A multivariable adjusted regression model showed that white South Africans were more likely to use tobacco than black South Africans. Interesting. That's not how it works here.
This is getting worse as we go.
I didn't make this up. I'm just reading it. I'm blaming Yolanda.
Oh my God.
So anyway, the practice of oral sex was more likely amongst those 18 to 35, but had no significant association with tobacco use. So the younger people put stuff in their mouth, but didn't smoke.
I'm just thinking about a cigar now and a former president. But go ahead, keep going.
So the observed age and ethnic differences in both risk behaviors suggest a need for targeted population intervention in order to reduce the risk of oral HPV. That's the human papillomavirus.
Yeah, Papa something.
Yeah. So anyway, let's scroll down. I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read any more of this. Let's get to the.
I'm sure more studies are needed. You're in the second control group, Bob.
Results. The study sample comprised of 847 patients who visited the university-based oral health center. Study participants self-identified their race, 847 patients, 93% self-identified as Black, Africans, 6% were white, 2 patients, that's 0.3%, were Indian, and only 1 was of mixed race. 41 did not identify their race.
How fucking important is the race? I don't get that.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just reading what they put. I'm just reading what they put. So
they're all humans. That's what I don't understand. Anyway, go ahead.
So what they're saying is that people that smoke are more fun, is essentially what this is saying.
Well, we are forced outside a lot, so we get lonely.
So, I mean, that's what they're saying is that people that smoke are more likely to be okay with having stuff in their mouth and are more fun.
At least from 18 to 45. That's the age demographic anyway.
I mean,
this is so sad. Just get to the bottom where Glance is somehow fucking attributing to this bullshit. If you want to talk about junk science bullshit, here it is.
Well, and obviously he wants to definitely talk about sex.
Well, I know.
And I'm surprised there's not a reference in here to boobs too, because he likes looking at those.
Oh, there's limitations to the study.
Here's the conclusion. Study findings suggest that tobacco use and the practice of oral sex are not significantly associated risk behaviors and thus could be considered independent risks. Also, I was wrong by saying that people that smoke were more fun. Furthermore, age and ethnic differences in both risk factor or behaviors suggest need for targeted population intervention in order to prevent and reduce incidence of oral and oropharyngeal infection. Community engagement and further investigation are required concerning the perceptions of oral sex practice and tobacco use. And there's some acknowledgments now.
Thank goodness. I was hoping. No tongue lashings, though, right?
No, apparently not. So we scroll down to the references. So there's Petty and Shaw and Upile and Farsi, Shabosky and Gilson again, Richter, Paquette. I'm waiting.
Of the world right now. This clearly had to come out and be public, And I'm not trying to downplay any research, Yolanda, by any means, but wow.
Look at all these people. They're,
who gives and who gets why, when, and with whom.
So what is the significance of black and white differences in risky sexual behavior?
Oh, my God.
I mean, these are all different sources that these people referred to.
These researchers are a fun group.
Oh, okay. Here's one. Who gives and who gets, why, when, and with whom young people engage in oral sex? That's a study.
Oh, my God. All I did was quit smoking, Patrick.
This is the reddest I've ever seen you.
It's fucking insane. I get it. It exists. I understand that somebody had to look at it, but look at all the references.
I'm still scrolling.
They're studying about studying.
Yeah. So, yeah, now we need to do now, you know what, Yolanda, since you're a researcher and this is, we need to do a study on vapors and oral sex. Kevin said he would be your guinea pig.
I did?
Yeah, that you will give anybody.
Oh, my God. Anybody. Oh, hang on.
Give.
Oh, my goodness.
Take one for the team.
Take one for the team. Well, that'd be correlation then, really, wouldn't it? So she's got a few comments on there. She didn't make it up and almost wet herself after reading it.
Almost wet myself reading it and knew it had to be shared.
Yeah.
And then Will says older people smoke mainly after they have oral.
And
what
during, about
or during. Sometimes you put the ashtray. Oh, never mind.
Like she said, absolutely observational self-reporting. What about those who are by themselves? I mean, you can't rule that out now.
You just got to be really limber.
But it needs to be further looked at,
and recorded for posterity.
Poor Chris said, "What show did I come on?"
This is the show. This is the Hurricane special where we're trying to have some fun because our guest dropped out, and then sadly, guys, you're going to be disappointed, but we're probably going to stop about the hour mark because
so far we got no chicken wings, and oral sex is prevalent in smokers and snuffs and all that. So yeah, we're so far good. We're good. We're doing well. And Cat is pissed off.
And Cat is pissed off. Because fun stuff.
Do we need to put our smokes out first?
Yolanda has the best questions today.
Now she's just antagonizing me.
No, I already said you can just put the ashtray on him or her head.
Flat head, about this tall.
This show we're gonna get canceled. The cancel culture people will come after us for this show.
I'm not gonna say the K word. I just won't. I refuse. I got no trouble enough for that.
That's why I said the cancel culture.
We're gonna get
that's the new thing. Everybody wants to. If you have a different opinion than them, they want to go after everybody that supports you to get them to not support you and cancel you. Luckily, nobody sponsors us that gives a shit, really. So
no,
we can't be canceled. We can be banned. We can be deplatformed or whatever. But I'm sure we'll find something else to do.
We don't care.
If nothing else, I have a Zoom account that we can have 100 people in, and I'll just put out the Zoom link, and everybody can come in and hang out. I'll just mute everybody. That would be awful. That would be awful. We could just put out a Google calendar announcement to all of our friends, and they can come in and watch us do this in a chat room. It does, or in a Zoom room.
Everybody, come on in. Leave your inhibitions behind.
We got enough VG.
Yeah, exactly.
Might get a little sticky.
Oh man.
So, Kevin? What do you want to talk about?
What's the? Well, I don't have my shit up correctly. Let's see. Let me shoot down my line.
So everybody
Let's
will just have to throw their car keys in a bowl when they come in, and fold your clothes in a pile.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Jerry wanted to go around the states this week. He flew, so I was very concerned about him.
Did he have leg room?
I asked, but he never responded.
Because leg room's important to him.
He was talking. I know. I asked him if I can get my screens straightened up here. I'll share.
Why are you so slow?
I'm just still all upset about the oral thing. Hold on.
You can't stand up right now. I know.
Let me see if that's the right thing. There we go. All right. Now I got to rub it.
There you go. Rub it.
Okay. So Calimu's, I don't know what that is. Calimu house.
Camilla's house.
Jerry's talking about wearing a mask. That's what they're there for. He wants to promote that, and he wants to talk about safety, social distancing, and caring. And in the picture, you can see briefly, he's not wearing a mask. So I'm wondering if that microphone there has been shared by the others, because it concerns me a little bit, Patrick. It really does.
Well, and, I do have a question. This is another thing that Jerry did, and I don't have a tweet to show it. But, when we first started, everybody was like, coughing, cover your, make sure you cover your face when you're coughing. Don't cough into your hand, cough into your elbow.
Yes, sir.
And you and I think we discussed this, but the new way to say hello is not the fist bump anymore. It's the elbow touch, bumping your elbow. That's where you're coughing, dude. So you're actually just giving people like a freebie of your germs.
You're goosing them with your elbow.
So is that a way that you tell people that you like them? Hey, what's up, bro? Or are you actually saying I hate you? Here's some germs.
Yeah, I've got the picture. I haven't done anything yet. I don't think I have.
And Yolanda, to further the motif of the previous conversation points. So apparently, all the fellas in that picture were smiling under those masks because Jerry didn't have his mouth covered.
Ah, see. Yeah, you're right. They look like they are. Two of them look shocked.
So
he was also on Face the Nation doing something yesterday. So yeah.
So back to the what was that one study? It says when to give, who to give, or whatever. Little give and take.
Little give and take. Reach around. Oh my God. Yeah, Jerry's not wearing masks at places he's talking about wearing masks. So Face the Nation, he's on TV, he doesn't wear a mask. And down there, they got a picture of him not wearing one. So I'm confused.
Well, I don't care if he's on TV and he's on a green screen and there's nobody nearby. Yeah. The mask is pointless. The mask is pointless. Now, if he's sitting across the table from somebody being interviewed or sitting beside somebody, you got to cover your face. The social distancing, the mask doesn't remove the social distancing need.
Correct.
The mask is sort of when you can't socially distance. I mean, nobody's saying you have to wear a mask 24/7.
No.
But when you're going to be closer than 6 feet to somebody, or if you're in the UK, it's only 5 feet. But when you're in, it's 6 pies. We have a sign on our elevator at work. It says stand 6 pies away because we're a bunch of fat people and we can measure pies in our head.
Did he wipe his chin? Oh, Yolanda's hot tonight.
She's on fire.
Oh my God.
My wife just sent me a text message, so I had to respond.
And just like Yolanda above said, to throw the sinister in there, is there no length they won't go to try to make smokers out to be dirty carriers of disease? So we talked about that a few weeks ago with Logan about how you can just, throwing shade upon smokers. I think all of us were smokers. We're dirty people. We're just nasty, filthy, dirty, smelly people. That's all.
Yeah.
Just because you put a key in a bowl makes you something, I don't understand. Belt buckle high. So yeah. I also sent you. What did I sent you something? Oh, Oliver Kershaw's tweet, but I think we just covered that with the Juul.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't cover the tweet, but we covered the fact that Juul, made some upgrades to their hardware.
Yep.
For safety and for better use.
Obviously.
And, that's one of the no-nos. We said you cannot innovate. You cannot upgrade even for safety. Because that materially changes your product.
That is correct.
So yeah, they got to skirt the rules. And there's a I saw somebody say something earlier about them being big tobacco owned, which is currently true, but the SEC is looking at breaking that back up. So Juul could be this. I hate to say it, but Juul is going to have an almost impossible task with trying to get a PMTA approval.
Right. On its own.
Part of the approval process is being able to prove that you don't create new users, you don't entice young people, and they have 1.5 to 2 years worth of all these scientific studies that have come out and proved that Juul is the boogeyman that's coming after your kid.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really think that that they were bought specifically just to be thrown to the wolves.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yep. This is Phil. For you guys who don't know who Phil is, Phil's a rodent. I can't really tell if he's a groundhog or not.
That's Puxatawny Phil.
But
he's a groundhog.
So we've got this groundhog, and obviously he's not a bot because he believes in the fundamental human rights. So he's from the Wild Wild West. He joined in 2016. I've been following him for quite a while. Hit the follow button here on the right at the top of his moniker or whatever that is. He likes fields. So Phil, a rodent, if you will, has over 600 tweets for links between smoking and COVID-19. He's up to, I think, and I'll go to his tweets and replies. It'll probably show one or two here. He's up to now 616 tweets showing here China smoking rates 26% in 2018. So that's his latest available data. Of 97 patients, 18 were smokers, and 62 of them with severe cases. 17 of those were smokers. So they're still trying to get the smoking / vaping / COVID link. If you follow Phil, you're gonna get a lot more than this. This is not all that he does, or she. I think it's a he.
I wonder if Phil actually. Well, his name is Phil. Come on, it's got to be a he. I wonder if Phil actually likes mango wings.
I don't know. I should ask him.
Definitely, because
I love Phil. So
I don't know what is the average lifespan of a groundhog, because he could be a teen.
You see that?
Yeah.
Oh crap!
You should definitely put a link to the what's the word? To the video about chicken wings.
Oh, I can't do that with this. I don't think, because then I'd have to.
Okay, well, no, just hit tweet. We'll see if.
That's a live tweet to just him. Now, when I did that, I used his. I'm on his page for those that are looking.
Right. That's how you do that.
You hit tweet. You're not showing it to everyone else. If you put a period after it, it'll show up on your timeline.
No, period before.
I'm sorry. Yes, before. You're correct. So I'm discarding this one, and we'll unshare. But Phil has a lot of knowledge, and I don't know who he gets it from. If he's getting it all on his own, but if you follow Phil, you'd be very surprised at what you may learn. I'm going to put his line in the chat here.
Will Webb is actually saying that he has an uncle that lives in Punxsutawney. And he's going to go ask Phil, because Phil lives in a little house at the library there in Punxsutawney. He's going to go just have your uncle go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get the mango barbecue, not the spicy habanero mango barbecue. There's two different ones. Get him the sweet one and see, go be nice and give them to Phil and see if Phil will eat them.
Yeah.
Because I think groundhogs are omnivores.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could be herbivores.
I don't know. Ivana is Ivana Ivory. I can't ever say her last name right. Yes. She's a squirrel on Twitter, and she loves squirrels. So I stand with all rodents. I'm a rodent fan. I'm a huge rodent fan. There's a rabbit. I like the ones that are on the Serengeti. What are those called? The ones that live in the colony, and they stand up like this. I don't know. I like those. Those are cool. Is that the one that screams? That meme I've seen screaming? I don't know. I've never had the opportunity to make one scream, so I don't know if they do. Albert, fuck you. Yeah. Albert. Albert comes in every once in a while and decides to come in and point out that I have gray hair. Good. So, yeah, I love you, but fuck you. Meerkat, yes. Will Reb. They had a TV show on Animal Planet called Meerkat Manor. I think that's what it was called. And those are cool. There we go. That's what it is. Timba and whatever, Pumbaa or what the Jungle Book, the skinny one, not the warthog, the other one, is a meerkat. The screamer is the marmot. See, all of our friends in the chat room, they're in here. They're informing us. They must watch Animal Planet too. They're smarter than we. Oh, Phil replied. Phil could be in the chat room. You never know. What an odd question. Can't answer it because I've never tried them. I don't imagine they'd be bad. So there you go.
Did you? I can't remember. Was it mango barbecue that you asked, or just mango?
I asked, do you like mango chicken wings?
See, it's mango barbecue.
I know. Well, I didn't want to entice him, but it didn't matter because he said he doesn't imagine they'd be bad. So there you go.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get him hooked, make him order some while he's sitting there drinking at a bar in New York City.
The National Weather Service has just alerted me twice now in the last 20 seconds that there's a hurricane coming.
See, you're going to get gray hairs. You know that.
More?
You're going to worry more. Yeah.
More gray hairs?
Do a study on that.
Well, if we figure out a way, here's the thing. We should write a grant proposal for research on whether putting up with vapor shit causes people to have gray hairs. If we figure out a way to make it derogatory and about vaping, they'll give us the money.
Like keyboard warriors and automatic doctors and things like that. Okay.
Yeah. Do harm reduction experts in vaping. I'm making a funny eye movement when I say that because there are some really fucked up people in this vaping community that claim to be harm reduction soldiers, but don't believe in other forms of harm reduction, like masks, for example,
helmets,
or
electrical gloves.
They apparently only believe science when it's talking about vaping, and it's only. So anyway, do putting up with vapor shit cause you to have gray hair?
Probably. I'll concur.
Well, do you color your hair? Because your hair's not gray.
It is. It's got a little speckle here and there so far. My wife's is like yours. It's.
Now that's putting up with Kevin's shit.
Yes, correct.
Your wife's hair is gray.
That is correct. So I'm not sure why mine isn't. My grandfather, I'm 52. My grandfather was 57 when he passed away. And it was white except for a little bit on his sideburn and I was 7. So
my grandfather died 2-3 years ago at the age of like 96, and he had less gray hair than me. Wow. And he did not color his hair.
Wow.
But he had a full head of hair when he died too.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get that gene because I have a misshapen head. My mom didn't roll me enough when I was a baby, so I have a flat spot back here.
Well, that's
and I will not look good with no hair. I will be not.
So, does your wife slap you right there at that spot? Is that specific?
My wife has never slapped me, ever.
You should.
We are still loving, just like we were newlyweds.
Okay. All right.
The only time that we ever fight, it's about what we're going to have for supper.
Mm-hmm.
This is you driving down the road. What do you want to stop and get? Anything. Oh, well, let's stop here. No.
Right.
What about there? No.
I didn't want that.
So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Albert said yes. Vaping advocates get gray from, and then it disappeared.
Putting up with your shit.
That's right.
Putting up with your shit.
Yep.
Yolanda's being funny now. Yolanda says the flat spots from all that smoking in quotation marks.
Oh, there's a study that Glance can do.
He doesn't like flat spots. He likes bulbous spots.
Do smokers have flat spots on the back of their heads?
She's being facetious. So, shit, dude, what else? I got to go back and see. What did I say we were going to cover?
I'm not sure. You never told me.
Well, no, I put it in the tweet. Put it in the tweet. So we discussed chicken wings. We discussed oral sex.
Yep.
And vaping.
Mm-hmm.
So we hit all the points that we promised that we would hit.
Yes.
And there's a hurricane.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's coming.
Let me see if it's any. Let me hit the refresh button. Let's see. Is it going to refresh? Well, there it goes. Let's see. Hey, it must be a blizzard.
Yeah.
Everything's wet. Everything. Oh no, there's some color. Oh,
Here it comes. Here it comes.
there it is.
Well, now it looks further away.
That well, I zoomed in. I zoomed out. Sure.
And that's what, 5 miles?
If I zoom in way really, then I just do this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's no hurricane. It's not coming now.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, we're good to go.
So far.
But then you zoom out and see. For all you guys, so this is where I live right here with the little flag. This is me right here. So up here, you always hear about Hurricane Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Rockport. This is Rockport right here. This is the little town that got destroyed, and they just now got rebuilt. So I have coworkers that I work with that live there, and they're saying that everybody in Rockport is just freaking out because of this storm that's coming.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that because that's super scary.
Of course it is.
And it's coming. It's the green and orange red blob coming. There it is. It's coming.
Yep.
So and my wife has to go to work tomorrow. And she said, I'm packing an overnight bag, and I'm just going to stay at the hospital. If we have a shelter in place, then she'll just stay at the hospital because it's only about what 10, 15 miles to the hospital. But this town, when it rains like a normal average rain, there are parts of the city that flood, like every fucking time.
Wow. So, and I've never been in Texas. Aren't you guys just flat?
Well, I mean, I'm right on the Gulf of Mexico, so yeah, I mean, we're pretty much flat here. I mean, you get up into what they call the hill country, and there's hills.
Okay.
Up north, and where Austin is, there's some hills, but yeah, it's not completely flat. It's like when I moved here, my uncle in Pennsylvania is like, oh, because he thought that Texas was all desert and cactuses, like in the westerns,
right?
And tumbleweeds, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be living on the beach, dude.
Yolande wants to know how fishing is.
Great. Like, I wouldn't go out there right now, but I mean, we are right on the Gulf of Mexico. What's really funny, though, is because we're very close to Mexico here. We're about an hour and maybe an hour and a half north of Mexico. We have tons of Mexican restaurants here and great Mexican food. But literally, like, no good seafood restaurants. We have all the seafood and no restaurants because apparently there's not any demand. So apparently everybody that goes fishing cooks it at home.
It's like a black market. Okay.
Yeah. And, but I'm like, we were in Mobile, Alabama, which is on the other side of the Gulf of Mexico, and we were eating at an oyster restaurant, which most of you guys may not like, but I love oysters. And the waitress comes, and I'm wearing a T-shirt that says Corpus Christi, and she says, "I go to college in Corpus Christi." She was it was summer break or whatever, and I was like, "I wonder where these oysters come from." She said, "Those probably come from the Texas side of the Gulf of Mexico," and I was like, "Well, yeah, because nobody's serving them there."
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's not good. Can't handle your own economy. Shame on you. But that's better. If they're exporting, they should make more money, right?
Right, but I would still like a restaurant here to know how to make good. I mean, I lived in New Orleans.
Right.
I lived in New Orleans. I mean, oysters on the half shell. You go to Bourbon Street, half the restaurants, well, pretty much all the restaurants.
Yeah.
You can get good oysters at. That's like, and come here and you're like.
Are oysters actually food, then? That's my question today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Of course it's food.
I like clams. I love crab. I'm okay with, shut up. I'm okay with lobster.
What?
I like clams and crab. There you go.
And you want, yeah, like I said, you can go to New York City and get those.
All right, that's what I'm going to do. Next time I'm in New York, I'm going to look up Cuomo just to see if he'll come sit down and eat with me. I don't know.
Order wings.
Grinder. I want a grinder. I don't care about anything about wings.
Who do you want to grind on? What?
I want a freaking grinder.
I bet you have that app on your phone, don't you?
And it's in. No, I have.
You have the grinder app on your phone.
If I got to pull up my freaking phone to show you, I probably have 4 apps. I think it's 4. I don't do apps.
You ask your son how to install Grinder on your phone.
No, I've heard of it. Yes, TikTok, Grinder, all that bullshit. They've got all.
Ask him to install Grinder on your phone.
No, I don't like people as it is.
No, Grinder is right up your alley.
Probably not. Is Glance going to be on there? If Glance is on there, I'll get on there. And Jerry, if they're on there and you can confirm that first, then I'll get on it. Other than that,
I kind of wonder if maybe Jerome is on there.
He's such a putz. He's a putz. That's all. You need to ask him on politely. I don't think he's taking me seriously with his dribble.
Dude, he muted me. He doesn't ever respond to me anymore.
One of you nice people in the chat room, ask Jerry why he won't come on the show. I promised him I wouldn't mention his dribble dripping down his chin under his mask if he came on. I don't know if that offends him or.
I think the only person in the chat room that knows what Grinder is Amanda.
Is Amanda in there?
Well, Amanda's in the YouTube chat room, and she says Grinder ... LMFAO.
Well, you guys can laugh at me all you want to. I'm not on Grinder.
Grind R. There's no E. It's Grind R.
Oh, well.
You definitely need to install that on your phone, Kevin.
No. A Grinder is a sandwich. Anybody between Pennsylvania and anywhere east knows better. That's all I know.
So the parts of the country that really don't matter is what you're saying.
Knowing
it's not in Texas, so it doesn't matter.
A real one. Everybody else may have them, and they may use that term, but they don't understand what it is. When you go to Arby's here in Ohio, they have what they call, and frappe in Massachusetts, for example, it's actually a real one. And in McDonald's out here, it's not. So they think it is, and that's okay. And everybody out here believes it. It's like a Mexican restaurant. When you go to Taco Bell, that's not Mexican food. It's the same theory. Don't make me go down a rabbit hole.
Is it a steamed sandwich? Do they put it in a steamer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's stupid.
So, yeah, steamed hot dogs. People don't understand that either.
No, but they put the bun in the steamer.
Yeah.
That is dumb.
They can do both.
That is dumb. Only a stupid Yankee would think of a steamed sandwich.
Stupid ass Yankees. Oh my God.
It's like Firehouse Subs.
Never had
that is an entire chain where they make your sandwich and the bread is nice and good, and then they put the whole thing in a steamer and then your bread gets wet.
They're not doing it right.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I've never been there. Firehouse tells me spicy, and I'm not.
It was started by a bunch of firemen. Go into your little room in the back house where you have that calendar. I know you have a fireman calendar in there. You've been talking about Grinder.
Mine's my own made up one of Jerry. Don't confuse me. Jerry not wearing a mask. Jerry's wearing a mask in July and August.
So Fig shows up and he says, "I came in at the they put the bun in the steamer."
He missed the whole damn show.
He missed the whole part about oral sex, and Fig, you're gonna have to go back to the beginning, man. You just missed the whole thing. The whole thing.
Chicken wings and oral sex is the whole thing.
Chicken wings and oral sex was and we talked about vaping. So that sounds like a good Friday night, though, really.
Then Kat Tim, of course, because we all love her.
So chicken wings, oral sex, and vaping
Mhm.
That's a perfect Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm
actually a fan of this show.
This is probably this is one for the record books. People are going to be tuning into this show and they're going to be like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Oh, belt buckle high. There you go.
Oh well, but yeah. All right. Since I have this hurricane to deal with, and I hate to do it, but yeah, we have to cut the show short because I got to shut everything down. So give us some parting thoughts. Where's Jerry about oral sex, hot wings?
I think if you eat hot wings and then you have oral sex, that's probably going to be a bad thing. That's my final thought. And I love everybody on the show, and I thank you for letting me be here. And Fig, I miss your face. So there you go. That's my final thoughts.
Literally. The whole show was just us, having some fun. But we did relay the information that the government is paying, not our government. This was the government of South Africa, but it didn't put any of the funding in there, so you don't know where the grants came from. Could easily be from America, from NHCIS or any of the American academies that do tend to fund things. That they spent a lot of money asking people when they were getting their teeth cleaned, whether they gave or received, they were pitching or catching, and whether they smoked or not. And literally, the whole idea is that if you're a risky person, that you have risky behaviors, and they actually lost. They proved well. But then they had to ask whether you were black or white or purple or green or whatever, because apparently, white people like oral sex more than black people, according to this study. But black people were more common to be smokers. So that's two different risk categories, and they didn't overlap at all. But it's fun to spend a couple $1 million researching whether or not people that like to blow or suck.
Well, the study sucked. It could have blown. I don't know.
And and obviously Governor Cuomo, the controller in chief of New York State, has decided that only he gets to decide what real food is. And
that's right.
If you want to be a small business in New York, you have to kowtow to him. You have to agree that hot wings or wings is food or not food. And you can't open your business if he decides what you're serving is not food.
No.
So, just one more way for him to try to take control of you. And if you feel like that's just Cuomo, it's not. This is your government in action. This is the way they want to do things. They want to control every choice that you make. Whether that means that you serve hot wings or cheese plates or appetizers, they want to decide that. They want to decide that a piece of bread by itself is not a sandwich, but a piece of bread with a spread on it, that's a sandwich. You can call that a meal. That's bullshit. They want control. And you have to decide if you're going to allow that to continue. At some point, there will be an election, and Cuomo will be up for re-election. And if you're in New York, you have to decide, how much are you willing to give him? How much are you willing to allow him to take from you? And if you're in another state, if you're in California, whether you're going to let that guy or Inslee in Massachusetts or any of these other people, how much are you willing to allow them to take? Because that's really what this is about. I mean, obviously, we had a little fun talking about blowjobs, had a little bit of fun talking about chicken, but it's all about how much you're allowing them to control in your life. There's got to be a line. I mean, are you gonna draw the line at your front door? Are you gonna draw the line at your sidewalk? Are you gonna draw the line at your office? Or are you gonna draw the line about where and what it is that you want to put into your body? Those are the choices that you have to make. So anyway, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Will, Bill, Fig, Al, Victor, Ed,
Andrew, Mark, Yolande,
everybody else that showed up and said hello and listened to us talk about blowjobs and chicken wings. And just remember, we're closing out early tonight. Go and spend some time with your family, kiss your kids, hug your wife, or hug your kids and kiss your wife, and have a good weekend. Try to stay dry if you're in South Texas. Be aware there's a storm coming, and have a good weekend, because Monday we got all this shit to deal with again, and sadly, it doesn't seem like there's an end. Every time I look it up, there's more places that they want to take control, and I'm not willing to give up on everything that I want. I'm not willing to give them that inch, because they will take a mile. So be good. Have a good one. Bye.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately, it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
It's the same battle, Mr. Myers. We've been at it before. They want to addict these kids, this time to an e-cigarette, which has a chemical that's addictive. We know what it leads to. Sadly, it leads to tobacco addiction, disease, and death.
I'm going to get you addicted to nicotine. I have a customer for life. We have hundreds of cases nationwide where people have gotten sick or died using these devices.
Look what they're trying to do. All the delicious flavors of e-cigarettes are poison.
They're not people giving up smoking. They're not people that ever smoked before. Most people that vape never smoked before. Just think, if your kid was doing this and winds up with an IQ 10 or 15 points lower than he or she would have had for the rest of her life.
Addiction is being fueled by kid-friendly flavors and kid-friendly cool marketing. It is outrageous that these companies specifically market their bad products to kids. Today, right now, it would appear the wildfire of e-cig use among teenagers, high schoolers, middle schoolers has not let up.
There is a moral panic over it.
There is a moral panic.
And they can't find anything wrong with it, so they're hell-bent to find something.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. So, I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
The most disheartening thing is still the anti-choice rhetoric, the desire to enforce this quit or die mentality and refuse to allow individuals to reduce their risk unless they're willing to give up everything.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.